Alright, hey guys, what's going on? Alfonso here. I'm just going to be bringing you a disc discussion video, as I've taken to calling it. It's just going to be a quick overview of the week we've had. It's been just over a week since we went into beta, but it was around, I believe, this Tuesday where the game really blew up, and that's mainly because of you Rocket League people. So before I even start talking about it, I also just want to give like a huge shout out to not only the members of the Disc Jam community who have been around since, like July or February, depending on like when you first got involved, but also to the people in Rocket League who took this game by storm, not just by playing it, but also huge shout out to the organizers, to Texas RL, El Stedo, and Cloud Fuel, who has done so much, Ash and Mocket, and everyone else. Sorry if I've missed you who hosted the tournament. We've had a lot, and I'm in a bit of a tournament fatigue, but it's definitely been a lot of fun. But I just figured I'd make this video to kind of summarize what's happened this week, like mainly kind of a review of how the game's changed, because a lot of my opinions over the week have been shaped mainly by the Rocket League guys, and the influx of players has definitely helped realize stuff and come up with stuff. The first thing I want to talk about is characters, though, because over the week, the huge thing has been the whole Stanton OP, everyone's picking up Stanton, and I know I've been a part of that camp. I was a bit salty at the start of the week about Stanton, and it's mainly because Stanton is really good right now, and this isn't a bad thing. He's one of those characters that new players can pick up and do really well with, like once they've got the core game things down. And in that sense, he's kind of the Ryu of Street Fighter 2. He's the Ryu of Disc Jam. He's just this like all-around beginner character, the face of Disc Jam. He's just gonna do consistently well. Pretty easy to pick up, and that's not a bad thing. Like originally, I was kind of salty. This was just me being salty that I was losing to players who had maybe like 9-10 hours, because Stanton v Stanton matchups is really weird. I kind of got over that now, taking a break, looked at it and went, that's a bit silly, which is why I'm maining Mac now. So yeah, so I think it's actually a really good thing we have that character, and I think I'd prefer it if that character was Gator, but I also see why you wouldn't want to sell a game with Gator as your main character. But I would think that the all-round character is the one you really want the new players to pick up. So I don't really know if there's something that can be done there to kind of tone Stanton down a little bit, or bring Gator up. Obviously, we've got the Gator nerfs tomorrow. This is being recorded Sunday night, just after Ash's second tournament, so the patch isn't quite up yet. I probably should wait till that patch is up, but I'm here, I'm doing this now. So Stanton has been very dominant in the meta. The only time we've really seen him challenged at a high level was in the Mocket finals, which was Long Dong versus Sweet Long Dong on that McKenna. And it did show that what we were thinking is right, where McKenna can hold her own against Stanton at a high level. And as the developers themselves said, Long Dong did kind of just shape the entire McKenna meta in that like one game. His use of the shields, the way he was actually able to position was really impressive. Unfortunately, he didn't quite win. And I've got my own opinions on that, but that's probably an entirely different video. But on the topic of those games, most tournament games have been Stanton v Stanton, and that's mainly because, as I was saying earlier, he's the Ryu of this game. He's just very easy and quick to pick up, does very well without too much effort. I'd really like to see the vets play a bit more McKenna, or just more people play McKenna, mainly because it kind of just helps to get a feel of the game. Obviously, I think McKenna does a lot better when you have a lot more game knowledge, because you need to utilize that movement speed to actually be in the right place at the right time. But I would like to see people like Sweets, Chicken Boo, Compton, all these people pick up McKenna. And again, it's not me being salty that Sweet has whooped my ass in three different tournaments technically, which I am. Sweet, come on, quit it, man. But it would be cool to see vets picking up Mac a bit more, because I'll level with you, I really enjoy watching Mac v Mac gameplay. It's a lot more interesting for me to both watch and play. Stan v Stan is a very finicky game. There's a lot of chess in the Stan v Stan matchup, but the Mac v Mac matchup, really cool to watch, really interesting. A lot of curves there, very cool. But yeah, so just gonna shout out, please play Mac more. It's fun. And talking of meta shifts, mainly in this character, I'm not even going to talk about Gator, because as much as I tried to make Gator work this past 3 days, I even went to create a spreadsheet and stuff like that. It's just not going to work right now. Hopefully this patch we're getting tomorrow, these buffs we're getting, not that I know what they are yet, I just assume buffs are always going to result in a character doing better. I know I'll be playing a lot of him over the week, so I'll probably do another disc discussions over that. This one's just going to be a really long disc discussion. A, because it's my first time doing this format. B, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And there's also a lot to talk about. But yeah, so that's character meta kind of out of the way. I still think Matt can win the matchup. I just think she's got to work a lot harder to actually do it. But I also think she is on the cusp of being really disgustingly broken. And that's because of her speed, which is something that Haruka, if I'm getting that right, Haruka will be having more of. So it's going to be really interesting to see if Haruka completely breaks the meta, because as we saw with Longdong, the shielding play was outstanding, the positioning was outstanding, that ability to stay juice is really strong, and I'm going to be really interested to see what the devs actually do with Haruka to make sure she isn't, like, just really good. Because if you can consistently juice, it makes up for a weak shot strength, like McKenna has. So it's going to be interesting to see, A, how they scope out McKenna's strengths more, to an extent, and B, if Haruka doesn't break the game. But talking of meta, I also want to talk about the shield meta, which is in a really weird place right now. I believe it's kind of in its infancy of developing. To talk again about the Longdong versus Sweets match, Longdong reminded us all that we can actually use our shield to charge a super past 5 points into the game at the start. I rarely see this anywhere else. The only time I see it is when I try and go for it, miss, and then my opponent remembers they can do it, go for it, and miss. A lot of us aren't at that level where we can visualize where the disc is going to go before it's even there. Because for me, whenever I do it, it ends up being like a little to the right, a little to the left. I'm not quite in the right place, and then I'm forced to slide, so I'm kind of adverse to doing it again. But that is definitely where the game will be like heading towards as we progress. That super back and forth is just going to be really cool to watch. Really going to be really hard to play against. So I think high level play is going to be really interesting to see. But that's not the only part of shield meta. It's also being used a lot more to position better in the middle. I was going to be doing a discussion/poll on if people preferred to throw from corners or middle, and vice versa, if people preferred their opponents to throw from corners or middle. I never got around to that because I'm lazy. But personally, I've come to the conclusion that middle is just better to throw from at all times, corners, whatever. But in regards to that, the shield meta, for the older players who might be listening to this, the vets, probably remember the patch, or the patches, where when you shielded the disc, it would go forward towards the middle, or just like forward in general. It kind of had I don't know, I forget what the like algorithm/math behind it was where the disc would go. But now it pretty much tries to always go towards that middle circle. And that's good, that's great. I'm seeing a lot more, especially with McKenna, a lot more Max playing with the shield in the corner, bumping it into the middle. And that's really interesting to see. We're getting back to that stage where people are positioning with the shield. And I've always been a fan of the positioning with the shield because you're sacrificing tempo and the, I guess, element of surprise, the quick shot, to get a little bit of a better position. So that's coming up a lot more, and I'm interested to see how the shielding of both supercharge and positioning works coming into the future. So talking of positioning, and talking of the meta as well, these two kind of go hand in hand. At the start of the week, I went on record a lot talking about how the entire meta of Disc Jam is forcing your opponent to slide. And I've been of that opinion for, I think, 5 days now. Probably since Tuesday, up until I'm recording this video now, I've been of the opinion that if you can force your opponent to slide, you're going to win. The games I played in Ash's tournament today and discussions I had with Compton have led me to not fully change my mind on that. Sliding is still something you really want to make your opponents do, but it's not the entire thing anymore, and I'll talk about this why. So McKenna and Stanton, we're not going to talk about Gator and his place. McKenna and Stanton both have things they can do if they're forced to slide. Before this whole like Tuesday to Sunday thing kind of blew up and there were a lot more players, it was kind of just assumed if you could get them off your juice, you know, you've won. If you're juicing and they're not, you've won. But the play has changed a lot this past week. So starting off with McKenna, there was a change to the lobs when Gator was released on Tuesday, and it kind of pushed the characters more into their extremes. One of those extremes being McKenna's lobs get there a lot quicker, fall a lot faster. And what this has allowed her to do is, as you probably just saw in this clip, throw a lob to the backline. So if you slide, you're not forced to throw like this weak blue from the backline or this white if the slide was disastrous. You've got this super quick lob that isn't affected by when you throw it, and you're able to force your opponent back to the backline. So you've got something to do if you are forced to slide. It's not like you're doomed, you're throwing from the backline, your opponent's about to stuff you or throw a perfect from the net. You've actually got options. And at first, Compton was talking about this, how it was on par with with Stanton's slide. Still completely disagree there. I think Stanton's slide is still a little overtuned, perhaps. And I'll actually talk about that point coming up next, because Stanton's slide is in a really cool place now. But McKenna's lob is super good right now. McKenna's curves are just kind of like McKenna's curves. They are what they are. But her lob is probably one of her strongest assets, both from the deep lob and the short lob. The deep lob gets there so quickly, and there's nothing you have to throw from the backline if you get deep lobbed. You can't somehow move forward. You can't throw it from a cone, which is what it used to roll. And her short lob is also really strong. I've actually been catching out a lot of Stantons with the short lob. And this is Stanton, so catching a Stanton out is a pretty impressive thing. And then Stanton, on the other hand, with his slide, I was playing against DJ Farb, or I believe his Twitch name I've got written down here is Forumokaz. I'm probably butchering that. Really great player, played really well against me, but he actually played a almost completely different type of Stanton than I've ever seen. Most Stantons, you know, they play at the backline, they slide left and right if they have to. They'll play aggressive when they can, but then they'll just kind of ping corner to corner, mix in straight shots. I forgot his name already. DJ Farb, or Faye. I'm just going to call him Foe, because I think it is Foe. Shout out to him again for the playing Ashes tournament. He showed me something you can do with Stanton that I've never really thought about. I've definitely considered it and looked at it and thought this is stupid, but it works really well. And that's that Stanton slides pretty much always guarantees you a blue. And you're probably saying, yeah, we know this. And that's one of the things I think is a bit overtuned in Stanton slide is, in comparison to McKenna's, a Stan slide will pretty much always result in a blue. McKenna's is a bit fishy and can sometimes end in a white. I'm not like in saying that Stan can never throw a white, but it's a lot rarer. But when playing against me, when I threw from the back line, he would slide forward into the disc. He wouldn't take the through perfect that he could have got. He slid forward, gained a lot of position on the net, and threw a blue. And at 15 to 20, obviously the disc speed caps out, and then that's when Stanton's power really kicks in. And throwing these blues from up far really, like, it was so hard to play against. And it was really impressive to see that use. So Stan, while he doesn't have as good as lobs as McKenna to deal with when he slides, because he has the blues and the advanced strength, Stan is also not on the back foot when he slides. And we kind of already knew that, so finding out about mechs is awesome, because it puts them on the kind of same, like, plateau again, so it's just kind of back to normal. So I'm actually, at first I was super adverse to this. I was like, if you force your opponent to slide, you should be winning. But I kind of like the, I guess, comeback mechanic, catch-up mechanic, whatever you want to call it, in which there is something you can do if you're forced to slide. It might not be fully, like, perfect. Like, McKenna's you can charge super off of and you can still perfect off of. Stanton's, you're still throwing blues, you're not juiced. Eventually you'll probably get beat, especially in a Stan v Stan matchup. So, again, shout out to Foe for showing me that. It's completely changed the way I perceive the game. So that is awesome. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how, like, that kind of play develops more, of choosing to abandon your perfect, abandon your streak, and just go for this, like, slide forward to the net play, or this lob while you've got, like, ×3 juice and they wouldn't expect it. So I'm really excited to see how that develops. And most of the time it's been developing in tournaments. Quickly want to touch on tournaments. Mainly the EU community. And this isn't like an EU better than NA. This is please stop blaming ping as much as you guys do on EU. I don't see NA guys do it, probably because they're getting the hosts, in fairness. But I do see a lot of complaints about, playing at 200 ping, tournaments are unplayable because of that, EU's never going to win. And sure, we've won 1 out of, like, 5 tournaments. Not counting, like, I think 2's tournaments we win sometimes. But ping's not as bad as you're making it out to be. Stop complaining about ping. It's bad, but don't make it out to be the reason you lost the tournament. If it's so bad that you're playing against US West, which I can totally understand, take a second and ask the guy if you can alternate hosts. A lot of people are very open to that. I've had a lot of success just being like, hey, this is a best of 3. What if we play game 1 US West because you're, like, host? Game 2 EU, we'll tally up the scores. Whoever scored the most gets the third host of the third game. And that applies to best of 5. And it's a really good tactic. If not, try and find maybe like a US East player who can be the middleman. Just, there are options. It's not the end of the world if you get matched against a US West player. Yeah, I think I can probably say that because I come from a background of playing a game where almost every tournament was NA versus EU, so it was really bad. So I'm kind of like grown a immunity to it. But ping is not that bad, people. Ping is not that bad. With that said, we'll move on to the twos meta. And I've got down here on my little notepad, twos meta, question mark, question mark, question mark. Because if there's anything I've learned over this Tuesday, is I am freaking awful at twos, dude. I'm so bad at twos. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm happy to be bad at twos. Admittedly, I'm kind of like, I'm bummed out that I'm losing twos. Even with like, I was teamed with Longdong and we were doing so trash. And Longdong's like a godlike player, so I don't know what was going on there. But at the start of this week, I hated twos. I don't think that's a surprise to any of the vets. I was not a fan of twos. I thought it was the stupidest mode, as of the opinion that it was just like ones, but you had a safety net. But all the tournaments, all the games we've been doing, the way the NA players and Rocket League players have picked it up, has actually made me reconsider my position on twos, and I do love twos now. I'm a big twos fan. I love losing at twos because it means I was trash, and I'm okay with that. Saying that, twos meta is so up in the air right now. We've had like 2 or 3 twos tournaments, and it's just been like, I don't know. It's been weird, dude. Twos tournaments are weird. You've got Stanton, Mech. You've got Vert Stack, Side Stack, Ho Stack. I don't know what Compton calls it. And it's really awesome to watch an entire meta develop of twos. And to watch like all these different strats be tried out. All these different ways. It's really awesome to watch the 2C grown, and I'm so excited to see what happens with it, even if the what's it called, the court gets widened. I think that's actually going to be really cool, a really awesome addition. With that being said, I think that's all I want to catch up on this week. Yeah, that should be about it. Other than that, there's a patch coming Monday. Again, huge thanks, huge shout out to the Rocket League community. You guys have taken this game by storm and really helped us out with the infrastructure and tournaments. Kind of made us DJ guys kick our asses into gear and take things a little more seriously. I feel like we came into this a little bit lax, and we probably could have been organizing our own tournaments, but hey, I'm not going to say no to the chance to win $200. So yeah, so this has been just a quick disc discussion, Alphonso Thoughts, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for checking it out, for watching, sitting through this with me. Sorry if I garble, barble, whatever, if I go on. Odds are I'm going to listen back to this, hate everything I've said, completely disagree with it, and change my mind in 2 days because I'm like that. But I think I'm okay with this. I'm happy with what I've said and where I've got to. I'm checking my notes now to see if there's anything I missed. I don't think there's anything I missed. Really looking forward to how the game develops coming out of beta into full release. Really hope you guys stick around, keep playing. I hope that this 1 week, like 8 tournaments, whatever it's been, isn't just a one-off, and I really do hope I see you guys playing more. I hope I start losing more, that's for sure. Not to, I don't know why I said it like that. I'm excited to see you guys grow, skill-wise. This is going on too long, I'm going to end this. My name's been Alphonso, this has been Disc Discussions. You can catch me on the Discord and the Reddit. Make sure to leave a like, follow, subscribe. I was going to say subscribe it, but yeah, bye.